I wanted to give you a little bit more of an idea of how this rental scheme is going to work. So, and I don't think I was quite articulate or nuanced when I talked to you earlier about when I posted earlier about the thing. So I came up with this. So in the year 2022, person comes in, they want to rent a place. Their current wage is $17. That makes their monthly income 2946.66, and that means if we figure it at the rate of 25%, their rent would be $736.66. Now, at the end of the year, their inflation rate for that year, which is true, was 8%, and the consumer price index was 6.5. So let's say her employer comes up to her and says, well, congratulations, you're going to get a 4% raise for the next 3 years. So starting in 2023, her wage goes up to 1768, but her rate stays the same because remember, in this rent process, we will only adjust their income every 2 to 3 years. And in this example, I am using 3 years. So her current wage is 1768, and she's still paying $736.66 for her rent. So that year, inflation was 4.1, and the consumer price index was 3.4. Now, in the second year, she still gets her 4% increase, which brings her wages up to 1839. And that for that year, the consumer price index was 2.9 and inflation was 2.9 at the same time. And notice that she is still paying $736.66 on her rent. Now, here's where Karen was worried about people not getting ahead. So, what I did was in 2025, when her rental is going to be assessed, her monthly income is going to be assessed, and her rent adjusted. If her rent goes, if she still gets a 4% raise, she's making 19.12 an hour. That means she's bringing home a monthly income of 33, 14 and 13 cents. If we stay at the 25% process, then she's paying a rent of $825.53, meaning that her rent went up $88.87. Now, if we want to do another if we want to adjust for inflation, the average inflation in those 3 years was 5%. So and we take a 5% off the 825.53, and that leaves her rent now is at 784.26. If we want to go the consumer price index route, the average was 4.3 for those 3 years, and she would be paying a rent of $790.04, and she'd be getting a credit of $35.49. So we can either do this either way. I do think that if our model is to try to put as much money back into people's pocket as possible, then we should really consider giving also an inflationary or a consumer price index credit, whichever's the highest. There's my explanation, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.